Welcome back, folks, ladies, gentlemen, to this week's podcast, to the Heavens Demons podcast. Almost fucked that up immediately. There's a lot of wind going on right now, guys, and I'm afraid structurally this motherfucker's gonna fall.
It's a big fear. If you sense a little tension between us, it's because of these Kansas winds outside.
I'm looking around. There's no way this shit passes code nowadays.
Not at all. But I mean,
And
we're in a lease, so
hey, and Mother Nature's getting worse. She's getting madder.
yeah, I would say so.
More madder.
It's been windy every day for going on 2 weeks now.
I honestly I have no read on anything. It was hot last week. Mm-hmm. It's fucking windy this week. It's supposed to snow tomorrow.
It was hot and windy last week. Like, it started off cold in the morning, and then around like 8 o'clock hot, and then 9-10 o'clock windy, and then windy the rest of the day.
Side note, I saw this on Twitter. I'm not gonna out him, but hot and windy does not mean earthquake weather. I saw that somebody tweeted it. I'm like, it's not a thing. I know it's like maybe like passed down in the generations. We say it in our culture, but it's not a thing.
Don't shame people because they didn't go to college and take.
No, I learned that in high school.
I mean, yeah, but there's also some people that they probably didn't go that day. There's a lot of people that ditched.
All right, I didn't go a lot of days of high school either, but come on now.
But either way, I mean, there's a lot of shit. Not every people. A lot of people say that's not true, but they continue to say it, like urban legends or like just shit that's false.
Yeah, not like the Loch Ness monster because that shit's real.
Nessie is real.
She's out there.
And there's a whole group dedicated to just her.
If I'm a betting man, which I do like to bet, I don't think it's because wasn't it like in Michigan or some bullshit like that? It was
Lake Michigan?
Yeah.
I thought it was like Lake Erie or something. Isn't Lake Erie in Michigan?
Yes, I think Lake Erie is in
Well,
Michigan.
don't they have like 20 lakes up there? They have more than 20 lakes, right? Up there?
Yeah.
How many lakes do they have?
A lot. But
because you don't know either.
Isn't it like the 10 lake or some shit like that? Like there's a number on it.
The bicentennial? I couldn't tell you.
What sexuality have to do with this?
Dude, I say this continuously. Outside of the West Coast, I have no idea what goes on over there.
Not much.
Can you tell me where they have Groundhog Day? Where is Groundhog at? Where does he reside?
The main groundhog?
The groundhog.
Okay. Let me think.
My guess would be Pennsylvania, and I might be wrong.
Mine. It's gonna be a weird state like Pennsylvania, Vermont.
It's a weird state.
It's not Rhode Island. Rhode Island would be too small.
Yeah. You think it's too small for a groundhog?
Exactly.
A groundhog doesn't fit.
Not in the state of Rhode Island, bro. You can fucking you can throw a fucking rock across the state.
He's got low real estate in Rhode Island.
Hey, why
he's
would
got to
he
be in
go
a
there?
big state.
He's got to be in a bigger state, you know?
Like what?
Like
if that's the case, they'd all be in fucking Texas.
Ohio. Maybe Ohio?
I think it's in Pennsylvania because when I picture it, you can Google it. But when I picture the guy that pulls out the fucking groundhog, he's wearing like the top hat. And it's like it's a thing, you know? And I think like people from Pennsylvania, that's what they would do. Where is it?
Oh wow. Western Pennsylvania. Good job.
I had a feeling.
You know what? The name of the city, I'm so perplexed I can't even
Shuckatash.
Punks
Let me see. Don't hurt yourself.
Punxsutawney? I'm not bullshitting you. It's not an easy word to say.
Punxsutawney.
Is it?
Punxsutawney. I don't know if you. There has to be.
There's some shit you don't say. Like there's some words that you're not supposed to
Punxsutawney Phil. Yeah, that's the name of this small town. I imagine they still churn butter there.
Yeah, and have fucking carriages, which is I think is kind of fly. They should bring that shit back.
I mean, gas prices are outrageous.
Almost $5, but it's getting bad. There's certain things that I wish we could do, like have horses and carriages, but then you realize like we can only go really 20 miles in a day. It's as far as we could probably
And
go.
you have only 1 mile. What is it? 1 horsepower. You know.
You only have, no, you could have 2.
Oh, you could.
I mean, if you got money.
That's how they were balling back in the day.
Oh, you had
that's
2
how
horses?
You flexed.
Absolutely. And then they had the ones with the 4. Well, now you're royalty.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not royalty, but I can maybe get away with 2.
You could get away with 2. I don't see why not, bro. I'm not gonna shoot down your dreams. Why?
They're just gonna increase the price of hay. They're gonna find a way to make money.
Capitalism. This society will never succeed.
You pieces of shit.
And it wouldn't be the DNA or it wouldn't be
the
it wouldn't. What podcast is this?
Bro, dude, trust me, I'm perplexed because of the name of the city, the wind. There's a lot. My stimuli and anxiety is at an all-time high right now.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be the Heavens Demons podcast without that and talking about capitalism. But how are you feeling? I mean, it's been a while since we've been here.
It's been a while. It's been 2 weeks. We took our little gap week off, which I had to remind you because I was like, I had a feeling. I was like, I feel like we did 3 straight, and we always do a gap. We always take a week off. But I've been great. It was a good time off. Had a great weekend. A lot of productive things being done. A lot of big moves. A lot of things behind the scenes. I would say that we have going on. Yeah. That we're kind of as they say, getting your ducks in a row.
Gotta get your ducks in a row.
Gotta do it.
Did you practice some things over the weekend?
Did I practice
over the week break? Like telling people to comment, like, and subscribe.
Oh, please
and rate 5 stars.
Rate 5 stars. Hey, subscribe, unsubscribe, and then subscribe again.
I think we did that in the first 5 minutes. We're getting better.
Hey, that is it.
Right? It was in the first 5 minutes. 6 minutes.
No, let's say 6 plus. But we're right.
It depends on how you count.
Time
is a social construct.
Time is a social construct. Measuring the social construct. Hey, don't.
I don't know about that, but
it could be.
You're not gonna hear arguments or complaints from me. That's good to hear.
But it's been a good time off. How you been? How we doing?
Can't complain. I've been great, fantastic, wonderful, amazing.
Has 2022 been everything you wanted it to be?
It's been too crazy.
I know.
It's been wild. I've been getting 2 on.
You turned up?
Yeah, can't turn down. Yeah, no, it's been great. I mean, we're still in we're still in February, on 2/22/2022. That's a palindrome, and it's the last one that we'll see in our lifetime, I think.
Yeah, because the next one will happen in 200 years.
Yeah. Yeah, because
it's 2022.
Yeah,
so for it to be 222. 2,222.
Yeah.
No, hey, bro, I'm not gonna be alive.
We ain't gonna be alive. This is the last palindrome we're gonna see. Yeah. So
enjoy it, folks.
Hope you guys manifest it. And there's a tornado outside. So.
Yeah. It's dicey, folks.
A tornado flew around my valley before you came. Excuse the mess it made.
It usually doesn't rain.
It usually doesn't rain. This past weekend I went to Slab City. The name was escaping me.
Yeah. Salvation Mountain.
Salvation Mountain is an art exhibit at Slab City. Yeah. And the last time I was there, Damien and I did a photo shoot with my little brother at no, that was different. So Damien and I did a photo shoot at East Jesus, and
shout out
Damien, Jesus. I swear to you, I remember how there wasn't a lot of people there. Like, they were kind of like scattered, like how Thermal used to be. Like, there's one house here, and then you go then you could see another house like right over there, but it's in the distance. Now it's basically like Skid Row on dirt. It's bad. The population has tripled at minimum,
So it's developed exponentially.
You have people just like, once you get over the mound on Salvation Mountain, which you think it's already bad leading up to it. Once you get past it and you're like, you know what, let's just explore. We're here. You know, I know there's other art exhibits here. I heard about it.
Right.
Drive over, and that's on the main road. You see nothing but young people, old people. Wherever their vehicle broke down, that's where they set up shop, and they're selling shit to you. Like, they got some trash together. They made a makeshift bottle that's supposed to look like a character of some sorts, and they're trying to sell it to you, trying to make money to feed, I don't know who, themselves and whoever else. Then
where did they go grocery shopping?
And I'm telling you this, I did not see a grocery store anywhere.
That's mine. That's the first thing I always think of. I'm like, how far do you have to go get groceries?
Far.
For clean water.
It's the road you take to get there. You pass through like where there's actual homes. You pass through these actual homes to get to the dirt road to where you're trying to get to Salvation Mountain and to Slab City. So it's like you go, and they also have like these people built a venue. There's a stage. There's a bar, like a bar top. Like, there's a bar top with bar stools.
I'm glad we got our priorities straight here.
Well, yeah, bro. If you're gonna be somewhere like that, you might as well be drunk.
Hey, might as well have some fun.
It looks like Mad Max and Waterworld on dirt. That's what it looks like.
In probably the most heavily polluted area in Southern California, by far.
By far. I can't even imagine the summer. And I'm driving around, and I'm looking, I'm like, this is fucking insane. And you see kids walking, you see dogs playing. They made signs saying drive slow, dogs at play.
Respectable.
Respectable people.
I thank you for that.
Respectable. I would not get out and shake your hand, but
no. And I wouldn't stop if your kid was playing either, but for your dog, I'll stop.
There's a library, there's a hostel there. There's, you know what a hostel is, right?
Like a hotel looking thing?
It's basically a hotel with like a bunch of bunk beds.
Yeah.
You share with people.
Think of Europe.
It's popular in Europe, and that's, my uncle says, it's the best way to travel. You meet people from all over the world doing that, and there's other stuff that happens too. But yeah, so, and in my head, I'm like, we got to get out of here. And I'm trying to think of like, how did all these people get here? And then I forgot we just went through a panini, and that's how they got there.
The panorama still kind of around.
It's still around. But you could see, like, you could put two and two together, like, that's how they ended up here, was the beginning. So from 2020 through 2021, they ended up here. And now we're going into 2022, and, like, to recover from that, I don't know if those people will ever recover from that.
That's the sad part.
Yeah.
Of, like, homelessness and whatever that is. Because, I mean, they still technically have somewhat of a home, but not really.
Not really. No. Yeah. I wouldn't say that's a home. But seeing that, and then also seeing, because there's other art exhibits, like semi trucks with pallets driving on this main road, getting to wherever they're trying to get to, so they could build more on these art exhibits, because they take donations there. And, you know, just like if you remember dispensaries back in the day, they said it was a donation, but it was actually $20 or actually $30, whatever it was. Oh yeah, it's a $30 donation. So you donate, and to be able to see their exhibit, so they could be able to buy food for them, their dog, and whoever else, and buy whatever supplies. People donate paint and all kinds of stuff. But there's somebody funding Slab City. I couldn't tell you who.
It's got to be like a nonprofit, or I don't know. I personally don't know.
2 semi trucks full of pallets.
I just feel, I don't know. And I could be wrong here. Maybe I just have an outside perspective. Those funds could be used a little bit better right there.
Yeah, unless they're building a house. But, like, you could see, like, and you could tell.
But even then, like, they could have, like, they could build actually, like, nice bathrooms or structurally to make things easier for the people around there.
Yeah.
But that money's not going to that. It's going to the art.
No, the money's going to the art. And you could, in that main road, you could tell the people, they're not sleeping right there. Some of them aren't sleeping right there on that main road. Because when you look back into, like, the actual mounds of dirt in the hills, like, oh, that's where they sleep, because you could see the tents, you could see the little makeshift shack that they have, you could see, you know, whatever it is, and you're like, oh my God, like, this is what they do every day, is they come over here to get money from the people, from the tourists that are trying to see all these art exhibits, and then they send either that person or somebody in their group to go into town to buy groceries or whatever to come right back, because I know there was a convenience store at the very beginning of the road, which is like probably like a 30-minute walk, because it was like a 10-minute drive. But yeah, it was putting things into perspective. Then we stopped at Bombay Beach, which is a Salton Sea for those that don't know.
The fancy part,
I guess, because those people actually have like a structural home. It's not structurally sound, but it's a structural home.
They have a roof.
They have a roof. They got 4 walls.
Not the best constructed.
Not the best constructed. It could fall and collapse at any minute.
Small wind gust might be able to take it out.
Bro, and those people, and this is one thing that I noticed. These people are, let's just say.
Slow down. You sound very aggressive when you say these people.
Well, this community.
There you go.
People that are in this community.
Thank you.
They don't have a job. They don't have TV. They don't have like certain things, but you know what? They all have something to do. They're never just bored sitting. They're not just fucking, oh, boo, like, woe is me. They're like, they look like they got somewhere to fucking go.
Yeah.
And it's like, where are you going?
What is there?
What could you possibly what could you possibly be doing right now? Like, everybody moves with a purpose.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's your purpose? What is it here? I had my mushrooms in my bag, but still, like, I was afraid to, like, learn.
Yeah.
Because I might be intrigued of what's going on here.
You might look and never look back.
But Vice needs to do a documentary on Slab City. Like, they need to send somebody out there either undercover or just them themselves and, like, what's going on here? Like, why do you...
Because you got to imagine the day's gonna come where, I mean, I don't know who owns the area. I don't know who's in charge of all this. But the day's gonna come where either something violent's gonna happen. When it's that many people, it's kind of like Skid Row. Like bad things happen in those areas. Eventually, something's gonna happen.
It's the wildest of West, bro. Like there's no cops. I mean, there's sheriffs out there that are in charge of like all of Bombay Beach up to like Brawley.
Yeah, that's a fucking far ass area. That's not close.
It's not close at all.
How could you patrol that?
And it's like you look around. It's like what like the amount of shit that can happen. You're like, no cop's saving you. Nah. How are you gonna get a hold? By the time this cop gets here, like,
you think they got phones?
No, there's people on their phones. I don't know how they're charging this shit.
Fucking lithium in the water,
dude. I have no idea, but it's just like you look at it, it's like this is actually in a weird way impressive
how they're like making just do with what they have,
making just do how they continuously build. Somebody like built like a second story of their shack and was like up there. It's very elaborate and intricate, and it's like if you were to tell like some random person like, hey, here's all these supplies, make something.
Yeah, go 2 stories right now.
What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? And those people figure it out. And it's like like whoever owns that area.
You need to hire that person.
One, they overran it. All these people overran it. Yeah. 2, I'm pretty sure they'd rather have them there than in the city or in the shelter because there's no room. So they're like, you know what? If they're here, that's fine. But I don't think anybody anticipated these people to build a community and to build actual livable it's obviously a livable condition if they're still living.
My whole thing is what happens in the summer.
I don't know. I'm afraid to go out there during the summer.
That to me, that would be the scariest of times.
Yeah.
Not many places you could hide from in the heat.
Yeah, and you'd have to kind of like heed advice from somebody that's been there already.
Yeah,
like that's lived here. Like, oh, I've been here, 5 years. I could tell you how to survive during the summer. It's like, but if you and I go there, like, how the fuck?
We could probably Jimmy Rick some shit kind of figured out, but it'd be rough.
It would take me one summer to be like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put our brain power together.
We're going to get the fuck out
and we're going to get the fuck out of this place. I don't know how. Jimmy, I don't know how. Nope. But I don't care if we're going to makeshift weapons and we're going to take someone's home from Bombay Beach. But that's an improvement over cuddling up next to a tumbleweed.
Yes. We're going to find a makeshift raft, and we're going to create a boathouse, a lake house. Wait, no, what's it called? The river, a
pontoon?
No. They're on the lake, but they're like houses.
Like a I don't know.
It's legit like they look like humongous pontoons. They're
I know there's
stories.
Yeah, I know
the name of it.
My ignorant ass just wants to call it a river house, but a boathouse.
Let's just say a fucking
boathouse. A yacht.
That's not a yacht. God, no, it's not a yacht.
Anything could be a yacht.
Don't disrespect a yacht like that. But what I'm saying is we're gonna get a raft.
Hey, don't shame my yacht.
And we're gonna go ahead and make a river house.
Yeah.
In the middle of Salton Sea.
Okay, think about this. When they finally figure out
within the day.
Yeah, when they finally figure out what's going on there with that Salton Sea, and they manage to fix the water miraculously somehow. They're not, but there's no way that they would let it. They at least contain it to just be there.
Yeah, you'd hope.
Those people are prime real estate.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, there's people. I forgot to say this. There's people that post up there that rent out e-bikes, electric bikes, dude.
Where do they even charge these things?
I don't fucking know, and you guys would not believe me if you didn't see it with your. I don't know why I didn't record.
Why e-bikes?
So you could ride around and look at the art exhibits, dude.
Is it that big?
It's the same. It's what?
I've never been,
bro. Think of like going to the dump.
Uh-huh.
Once you turn from Dillon onto that road, that's how big it is.
Oh wow.
It's in the mountain.
So there's got to be. If you're saying there's that many people.
Yeah, bro.
Oh wow.
It's a lot of people.
Oh wow.
It would not surprise me if it was like if it was close to like, I would say ballpark number out there, over 500, might be 600, 700 people.
That's a lot.
In the middle of nowhere with nothing.
Hey,
and that's just what I could see.
Hey, but who's say they're not just happy out there?
They probably are, because I used to say I've never seen a sad beach bum.
No, but that's not the beach.
But that is not the beach.
Far from it.
And it smells like fucking dead fish.
Yeah.
So Yeah, man. If you want to humble yourself and put things into perspective, go to Slab City, lock your doors, go to Slab City, drive around and ask yourself, how long do you think you would survive? And then ask, like, how long do you think these people have been here? Because summer's right around the corner. It was already warm over there.
And then you got to ask yourself, what happened to these people that they got here? That's, to me, that sometimes that's the most curious of things. I'm like, what in your life got you to here?
Mm-hmm. I know there was a guy.
Crazy
there was a guy there was a journalist that went undercover homeless, I think in the streets of New York or LA, and was in the community for like I think a year.
Damn.
And was just talking to people. Like he would record, like he would eventually like go home to like I guess eat food and supply up or whatever and charge his camera and then go back out there, and he was interviewing these homeless people like how they ended up here. And I never watched it. I had heard about it, but I would what I'm encouraging and imploring you journalists to do is the same thing over there. Take weapons with you, because these people are gonna. It would not shock me though. This is the scary part. It would not shock me if they were cannibals. It would not shock me, because it's like,
how do you survive this long?
You know,
but I'm not a fucking cannibal expert here, but I thought you can't eat human meat. Like you could only do it for so long.
I don't think they care. It's either that or starve to death. Maybe.
Oh, okay. Well,
let's
do a canned food drive for them.
Yeah,
or maybe that's not good.
Or maybe there's people that go out there to deliver food every so often.
That's my hope.
I would hope so. Like God-fearing people that would do that. I would hope.
Yeah, there's plenty of religious people that are just good people.
I know they probably make them listen to the Bible as they're passing out the food, but it's either that or you don't eat.
Dude, and I was telling you this fucking no, I'm not gonna shit on him. Never mind. I was gonna explain my Valentine's Day story of getting flowers and where I got them.
Oh,
and what I had to do.
Yeah, don't do it.
I'm not gonna do it. I'd sound like a bad person.
But this is what
But it's similar to those
this is
lines.
what I don't understand. Like, if I'm in that situation, don't tell me the only way I can get this food is if I have to listen to you preach about whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
If you got to make me listen to Scientology for this 20-30 minutes just so I could have those canned beans, one, that's cruel and unusual punishment. And two, like, if you really just wanted to donate this out of the good of your heart, you just leave it here and then
hey, God bless,
go.
And go.
Exactly. So that's almost like you're holding me hostage here.
To me, that's punishment.
Yeah, and it also wouldn't be the HD podcast without us bringing religion into this.
Without bashing religion.
They caught us stray.
They did.
But that was,
that's a hell of a weekend. And that was that wasn't even a weekend. That was just a day.
That was just
that was afternoon.
That was a day. That was like 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Salvation Mountain's beautiful. Go see it for yourself and leave with perspective.
Always.
But
I'll say, what do we want to get into something funny, serious? Where do we want to go with this?
We could stay on the funny question.
Okay,
mark?
Perfect. You want to see funny? We stay funny. All right, Euphoria. We're gonna do a Euphoria recap.
Okay, you know what? We only have one more episode to do. All right, next year or 2024.
Yeah,
we're gonna save our Euphoria recaps for the end
of the season,
end of the episode, or end of when we record. Like if we do weekly recaps.
Yeah.
Save the weekly recap for the end of the episode, not in the middle.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
But since you already introduced it,
we have a game plan already. We'll figure it out next time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Euphoria recap.
Yeah.
Hey, and spoiler, if you want to listen to this, fucking fast forward. I'm sorry I don't have a timestamp, but when it's gonna start and end.
Mm-hmm.
We're not that professional. There is one woman that I didn't see coming.
Mm-hmm.
That could make Nate Jacobs run through the hallway like a bitch.
Mm-hmm. John Tucker must die.
Hey, there's one woman, and it wasn't the woman that I thought it was gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
If you would have told me, oh, it's because Maddie's chasing him with a knife.
Yeah.
No.
Well, my bet was Maddie.
It was the girl writing a play.
Quiet ass Lexi.
Never said anything. Always in the back.
Just watching everything. Those people you got to really watch out for. The people that are watching you.
Mm-hmm. The ones that aren't saying much, you have to ask yourself, why aren't you saying much?
Mm-hmm.
And we know why.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be for those of you, it was pretty much based around and centered around the whole episode was Lexi's play.
Mm-hmm. Which I thought was Oklahoma, which she just lied to everybody.
Did you really think it was Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Why'd you think it was Oklahoma?
Because Cassie walked into the bathroom and said, "You look. How come you look like you're auditioning for Oklahoma?" And I thought that was Lexi's play. Was Oklahoma?
You need to pay more attention.
Oh, she never said it was Our Life. Did she?
You need to go back and watch it. You missed a few. You must have gone to the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you right now, remember when she went to go tell the principal about her own play? It wasn't fucking Oklahoma. And then I think Oklahoma was being auditioned while she had this idea. And I think, like, you know, she was like the main girl with like the headset, the black girl. She was fucking pissed off because I didn't think she made it for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And then that's when Lexi recruited her to do her play.
So but you're not understanding what I'm saying. I thought Oklahoma was the title of a play that's loosely based on them. I didn't think that the title of her play was called Our Life.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So I knew she was doing a play loosely based on them, but I just thought it was called Oklahoma.
Like the actual play, Oklahoma?
Like the actual name was Oklahoma.
Because you know there's a play called Oklahoma.
Yeah, and that's why I was thinking, I'm like, okay, she's twisting what Oklahoma actually is into.
I can see why you're confused about
yeah,
that.
like
yes.
that's like me saying like, yeah, we're gonna do the Wizard of Oz, but every character is one's gonna be you, one's gonna be Ari, one's gonna be this person.
But what she only reason she said Oklahoma is because of the whole Cassie thing, and she want Cassie to realize that I'm writing a play based on all of us.
Yeah,
that's why she threw it out there.
I got that. That's why like Cassie would never think Oklahoma's about her.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, oh, what she's doing is she's taking like that. Like I'm saying, like that'd be me saying I'm doing the Wizard of Oz, and you're gonna be the lion, and Ari's gonna be the scarecrow, and this and that, and I'm gonna make this all about you guys.
Yeah, is
what I thought.
Which I think one of the main things I took out of it was I love the fact that they kind of flashback to Rue and Lexi's relationship when they were younger. This is pre-high school, and I guess kind of like the breaking point of when Rue's dad passed and kind of how it drifted apart.
Question: how do you feel about that? Like, you like that she's showing that, but how do you feel about her putting
it's
that into the play?
It's tough,
the way she did.
But the only reason I would say, and clearly she didn't get her permission on it, but I think enough time had passed to where she could bring up sensitive topics, which is the biggest sensitive topic with Rue. That's why she is the way she is. I think is because of her dad passing. But I think at the base of it, you could tell Lexi was trying to bring in different moments throughout that experience of like her telling her the play, and she wanted to bring the lighter things out of that experience. So I think she did it the best way she could. And I mean, you could get mad about the whole, well, fuck, you're pretty much just saying I'm doing drugs because my dad passed. I mean, it's a tragic story, but it's a story.
Yeah, but I don't think you have the right to say that. Like, yeah, it kind of involves, it doesn't involve you, but it does involve you. Like, that's a private thing. Like, if I were to, like, start off my play with your tragic event that's supposed to be about me, it's like, why would you do that? If that was supposed to be a private conversation that we had while you were in my room, and why is that in the play? And then why are you making it seem like, yeah, granted, I am a drug addict.
Yeah, but she was, I think the message she was trying to get across was trying to bring the light out of all that darkness. Like, to me, when she was like sitting down with her and she was reading her that poem, like, that's a moment I would have never thought of. And I think that's the point of a screenwriter, is to bring those moments out of the darkest of situations you never would have thought of.
No, I think, well, that's your perspective. My perspective was she was showing you where the light went dark. Because if you wanted to show the lightness in the dark, you would have showed the friendship before my dad died.
And they had moments of like when they were hanging out.
But that was after the dad died. All that was it didn't predate the dad's passing. Yeah, but that was the moment
that made things drift astray.
Yeah, so but you're saying you're making light of the darkness, but is at least show the beginning before my dad. Why does my dad's death have to be the starting point?
It was because that's when it all went downhill. And then after that, even though we could go ahead and agree that dad died after that darkness, right?
Yeah.
Well, agreed, yes, but that's why she was trying to make, like, she was trying to have like a few moments of like, look, it's been dog shit since this moment on. Let me fucking flash back to the poem. Let me flash back to when we're hanging out on top of fucking Fesco's store and just fucking hanging out there and talking, like, just these little things.
But that was still after my dad died.
Yeah, but she's not fucking harping on the dad dying. She's harping on the moment that we had of just being amongst each other.
But in the way she's saying it though, because from what I can tell, like in those moments, Rue was high for all of that.
But that's reality.
No, I know that's reality. I know it's reality, but I just don't at my dad's wake, don't bring up me doing drugs at his wake and you trying to talk to me and console me about it when I'm clearly going through something.
That was one dark moment, yes. And then proceeds to go on with better things.
If just me personally, I wouldn't have done that. Or if I would have started it before the dad's death. Not that's where the starting point was. Like maybe do it when she found out when it happened, or at least shed a little bit more light on what the friendship was before the friendship hit the fork in the road. Because now it's like it is about Lexi's life, but in the way that it comes across is in what I was going to bring up is like the past 2 episodes is starting to put focus on everybody that they're not paying attention to, like Gia.
Yeah.
And now Lexi's been having to deal with everybody else's bullshit, and now she's making it the moment for everybody to look at me, focus on me, what I went through, because nobody knows Lexi's story. No, Lexi's an afterthought.
No, but you have to understand that high school, which this is based on, everybody's self-obsessed. Everybody's narcissistic in a lot of ways. So she's gonna, all these characters that were in her play, they also they're the leads in their play. And she wants to show her perspective on all your guys' individual plays going on in life. I want you to see my perspective.
Yeah, no, she's holding up a mirror to everybody.
Yeah.
But if I understand, but if you're going to hold up my mirror as like your daddy died, that's why you're like this.
I mean, you could take that if that's how you want to take it.
No, but that's what it is. I mean,
no, you can't say that's what it is. That's what it is for you. Because I'm literally just.
That's how it comes across. Like you can find, I guess, the beautiful aspect of, I'm still your friend through all this because we were great friends before. Okay, you never mentioned we were great friends before, like how our great friendship was before my dad died. You're showing me exactly where I went wrong.
They're high schoolers. She's not going to bring children.
They had the budget to build Fez's gas station, but she couldn't manage 5 minutes of a scene of them maybe at the beach.
It's not realistic of them to fucking cast kids. You think a high schooler is going to cast a kid?
She was playing herself 4 years younger. She couldn't do it fucking 3 months before the dad's passing.
Nah, I don't think she could have.
That's all I'm saying is from Rue's perspective. Fuck everybody else. From Rue's perspective is like, so your mirror to me is I stopped being a good friend to you because my dad died, and that's how I coped.
You could take it personal if you want, just like you could take anything personal in life. But
how she not take it personal?
She literally said that the story was about how these 4 or 5 best friends drifted apart. Like I'm going to show you guys what happened. And that was the basis of the story. Now, is that part
from her perspective?
Yes. Because each of them have their own perspective on it.
Yeah, but her perspective didn't include, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to tread carefully when it's other people's tragic events, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is tread very carefully of, yeah, you didn't have to portray me at my dad's wake snorting a line because I'm in pain.
That one was a little,
and that's what I'm. That
what
I'm saying.
Too straightforward one. You could have gone away with, especially when she blew the fucking.
So now you're agreeing with that's what I'm saying.
No. I'm saying that could be a little much. Yes, but that one moment versus the 3 or 4 other moments she highlighted after that. I mean, it's not. She's not just harping on that.
No, but what I'm saying is, for me, that's how the play started. I didn't know the other moments coming in the play, nor did anybody else.
Play, so
but I'm saying if I was in that position and that's how this play's starting, I have an issue already.
Did Rue? I'm gonna ask you that.
But okay,
because Rue's gonna give it a chance.
Rue's giving it a chance because of the conversation she had with her mom before that.
Yeah.
So Rue was obviously in a different headspace, right? Right or wrong?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying. Like, okay, that's a conversation between my mother and my mom's giving me the harsh reality that she hasn't given me before.
And I get what you mean. Like, if Rue wasn't clean, this play would have been different.
Yeah.
Because you could tell if Rue wasn't clean, she would be way too much in her feelings.
Yeah.
And it would have been a problem.
Yeah, and what I'm saying,
it just lined up perfectly.
It just so happened to line up perfectly that Rue's clean. She already had the reality check from her mom.
By the way, she was glowing in that episode.
And that's where. Now she sees her best friend is having a girl that looks like her, that's portraying her, do lines at her dad's wake. So like, yeah. And as us viewers, we didn't know that that was the headspace she was in either. Mm-hmm. We learned that throughout the episode. So that's why I'm saying, to start off, I would have had an issue. Learning later on, this is what the play is about. Sure. But I mean, I wouldn't have blamed Rue if she would have got up and left.
I walked out. Yeah.
When she sees that, that's all I'm advocating for, is like, that's not your tragedy to talk about.
Maybe, maybe not. I mean,
I'm right. No, it's not your tragedy to talk about. Like, you could just say, like,
no, there's a graceful way to go about it. She could have easily talked to Rue about it and like, look, I'm gonna give you a heads up. Mm-hmm. There's gonna be some moments in this that you're really not gonna like, but please, if you have faith in me, stick with it. Stick with me here. I'm gonna get us past.
And
this.
That's all I'm saying. And then the rest of it, fuck everybody else. Your sister's been a twat to you. You're like, it is what it is. Like, and the person that handled it the most gracious was her mom.
Dude, the mom was honestly the highlight probably of the episode.
She made the whole play. Once I heard her laugh once, I was like, I love this mom.
Dude, and I think we spoke about this the other day. We could all take a fucking what is it? Take a fucking, God, I'm forgetting the expression. We could all take
a play out of her book.
A play out of her book from the mom. Mm-hmm. The mom could have any moment saw the because she was being portrayed by a man, a very scandalous man. Yeah. Very loud, obnoxious. She could have been mad at any moment about this. Mm-hmm. But what did she do? She was just glad to be involved. Mm-hmm. She didn't take it personal. She didn't fucking try and make this about herself. She's like, you know what? I'm in my daughter's play. Is this how she wants to portray me? That's fine. I'm happy I'm here, guys.
It's because and also the way that she portrayed the mom was very comical. Yeah. It wasn't. She didn't have her mom snorting lines coming into the room talking to them, because I'm pretty sure the mom would have had an issue with that. Like,
maybe not.
So, yeah, and the mom handled it the best, because it's like, yeah, I may be a wino, but like, I'm not doing all this shit.
Hey, bro, at least she's accountable.
Yeah,
she's like, I might be the.
She's
drunk,
accountable and responsible of how she handled the kids' party. What's her name's? Maddie's party at the house. But.
Bro, even as a wino, she was trying to have an intervention.
Yeah, because addicts can spot other addicts, and she's like, "Oh no, she's all gross." Hey, look, I'm bad, but that woman right there, that little girl's not good at all.
Yeah, she's all. Hey, we could save whoever's fucking who for another moment.
Yeah, and
so kudos to the mom.
Saw all the rest of that, which I don't know how much this budget was on this play. Highest budget high school play I've ever seen in my life.
It's got to be in LA.
And
Hollywood.
And then to see everybody else and how everybody else was portrayed, and yeah, I'd love that she held a mirror to her sister and held a mirror to Maddie, which even Maddie's nothing was really bad about Maddie. Like, she showed a lot of empathy and compassion for Maddie, like, to see, like, that's why you could see why Maddie's so comfortable with everybody else, because of her. We don't really know about her mom and dad and her own home life, so that's the reason that she was so close to Cassie.
And she did start with the whole thing with, I didn't trust her at the beginning. Yeah, and Maddie could have fucking flipped out at that point too, and walked out, play like, "Hey, what'd you say about me, bitch?" But she's like, "Hear me out." Yeah, she stuck with it.
But she was always just like, she's listening, but she's like, I don't know how I feel about this yet. I mean, to see like how she kind of like started to admire her and like admire her confidence and admire who she was, like how strong of a person that she is, where she didn't deserve all the bad shit that happened. I love the callbacks and like what happened to predate the play of like her. We all wanted to know what happened when fucking Cassie ran away up the stairs, and to see how that happened, just to see how Maddie was just hurt that she did that to her. She was mad, of course, but how hurt she was. And then you understand like there's layers to this of like Cassie and her mom and Lexi let her stay there and shit like that. So it's like, I would never do this to you, and you did this to me for what? Yeah.
And now you're fucking parading around the hallways of my ex.
Yeah. Dressed like me.
Dressed
like me, bitch. You can't be me. Hey, that whole submissive scene though, with Cassie and Nate, I was like,
oh yeah.
I was like, this is a little, she's overdoing it, but I know she means this shit.
I know she means it, but in my head, I'm like, fucking A. Like, I feel like this is a fucking after college type of fucking talks and shit. Like, this is high school here.
I'm like, Yeah, I feel like she's just trying to get in the mood, but she really means everything she's saying right now.
Yeah, and
control what I
plus,
eat.
hey, bro, talk about more red flags. If you're fucking Cassie, and she's pretty much telling him, like, dress me however you want, and then he's like, got it, I'm gonna dress you like your best friend. That's you, my ex.
That I'm gonna dress you like your best friend. I mean, my ex. I mean, the woman I love. I mean, what? Yeah, you're still here. Okay.
Hey, by the way, no red flags.
None at
all. Still there.
What else? Fucking. And the whole time I remember telling you, I think we said this on the podcast, but telling you, like, I feel like something's bad's gonna happen to Ashtray.
Yeah.
Or Fez. And then the whole thing about the play, I'm like, he's not making it. I don't know what's gonna happen to him, but he's not making it.
Bro, like, it broke my heart, bro. When he told Faye, that's it.
Faye, yeah.
Yeah. Told Faye, because she told him, like, you look handsome, and he's like, you think other people find me handsome?
You think other people, maybe like named Lexi, last name Howard?
He didn't say that, but yeah, when I heard that, I was like, "Oh, that's what he meant. Damn."
Nah, he really cares about her.
He really does.
He's the one that encouraged her to do that play. Like, fuck it, fuck him, do it. Who cares?
And he made a great point. Mm-hmm. Some people need their feelings hurt.
Yeah,
because no bullshit, especially at that. Well, I mean, there's a very.
It's a tender age.
At the tender age, I understand that, but you need perspective at times, and that play gave you guys perspective. You don't like what you're seeing. Yeah. Well, neither did I when I was watching.
I didn't like watching you do this, but you still did it.
Here it is. Hey, maybe you'll learn now.
Hey, and how do you think we feel? You know, and fuck, I was thinking. I love the connection because I had forgot. This is why I love Twitter. The callback to Bob Ross.
Oh yeah, when they did like the marker.
So it makes me think, was she even passed out? Like, because he said...
Oh, yeah, because they smoked, and she was like...
Yeah, and like, you know who she looks like? That painter dude, the fucking Bob Ross. And then the Halloween, I'm Bob Ross.
Yeah.
It's like, were you even asleep?
Well, at some point, she woke up, and she's like, what the fuck am I looking at? And then they probably told her, you're Bob Ross. That's my guess.
And she's like, oh, so you like Bob Ross? Say less. I could be submissive, too. I miss running that family.
Hey, bro, hey, and I'll start from the dad.
Yeah.
Fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, dude. I felt so bad seeing that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm glad the past 2 episodes, next week's the finale, but the past 2 episodes put focus onto the people that were ignored for probably, what's this, 2 seasons now, 3 seasons.
And if something happens to Fez, if something happens to him,
HBO is getting a lot of anger. Sam Levinson people already hate him.
Hey, he's already on a shit list with everybody
already, bro. And then who was it? I saw an article. All my information that I know about Sam Levinson has been against my will.
Yeah.
And I didn't ask to learn these things. But he's a weirdo. Even with like Minka Kelly too. And like, I guess I forgot the connection of like who she's supposed to be like look like. I don't know if it was like supposed to be like his mom or who Minka Kelly's supposed to look like. Like there was like either a TikTok that I saw or something like an interview from Minka Kelly about her role in the show.
That he probably told her like, this is what I want you to kind of portray.
Yeah.
Here's a mood board. It's like, why is your mom on my mood board?
Why is your... He's like, oh, how'd that get there? Just pish posh.
Shit, fuck.
You know, things just fall, you know. Yeah. It was in my wallet. Why is your picture of your mom in your wallet?
Yeah.
Why is it sticky? Don't worry about it. It was the glue. But yeah, and then to see if which I think it is, and we don't know if it's the police because you know about Custer.
Yeah,
he's working like an informant, whatever. But everybody's forgetting Lori and her henchmen want their money back. So I don't know if it's a cop that has Fez pressed down on the ground or if it's one of like her goons that like the 3 of them showed up.
I have
like before the cops even got there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you start like there was that scene of like you hear them start huddling around and like setting up a perimeter, but
yeah,
you're already making the assumption that Fez is still in there.
You're making the assumption Fez is still there,
or shit had already happened.
Yeah,
they got there.
If it was like one of those things, like it's just perfect timing of like Lori's goons busted in, took everybody, left Custer's phone probably in there, or maybe even killed Custer, and then left with them. And then by the time the cops broke in, like nobody's here.
Yeah, they're gone.
They're gone already. And it's like, where the fuck did they go? Because Rue still owes her fucking $8,000.
Yeah.
So You know, someone's got to pay for it.
No, well, yeah. It's gonna come back maybe at in the last episode, but it's definitely gonna come back next season. Like, you don't just fucking forget to pay drug dealers. That's not how it works.
That's not how that happens. No, you don't run off on the plug twice.
No. Nah, you shouldn't even run off on him once.
And that's what Rue did. She ran off twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's one thing that pointed in my head. Another thing, Lexi Howard ended Nate Jacobs so bad he turned into an LGBT activist. Because he's like, your sister's so homophobic.
Oh, yeah, she did.
Like, can you believe that shit? It's like,
he's all, go get your fucking sister. Get the fuck out of my house.
Get the fuck out of my house. Grab your shit, get the fuck out of my house. It's like, oh, now he stands up for gay rights.
Yeah.
Which,
when it pertains to him.
Which, when that whole, I was laughing about, like, the whole gym thing.
It was hysterical.
Shout out Ethan. Fucking Kat was bringing you down, bro. She was suppressing you.
Hey, bro. And look at his talents.
Yeah.
You can't say.
His range.
Dude, you can't look at that player and not tell him he's not talented.
Bro,
this guy should be in fucking Juilliards.
Yeah, he's like a off-brand Tom Holland. Like, they're around the same build.
Yeah,
and he's got similar hair. The same range, bro. He played the mom. He did the dancing. He did like all kinds of shit. It's like, bro, look at this guy.
This guy does it all.
He's a fucking Renaissance man over here. But yeah, and when I was watching Nate, I was like, okay, and I'm trying to imagine myself as like a 17-year-old. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to take this the right way.
Oh, no, there's no chance.
Yeah, it's either one, you're insecure, super insecure with high hormones and testosterone, or two, you're secretly gay.
Yeah.
Or a culmination of both.
Or bi.
Yeah, or bi, or you're just, this really does pertain to you.
Yeah.
To a T. And Lexi sees right through that shit. And that's why you're now all of a sudden.
My question, and I don't know if you thought about this. How does Lexi know about this?
Know about what?
About the Nate thing.
So I don't think that
because remember,
it was Maddie's.
Makes sense. Well, Maddie told Cassie, remember about all the dicks in her phone?
His phone.
Yeah, in his phone. And then fucking obviously Cassie can't shut the fuck up at times, so
it
might have come out to Lexi that.
I was just thinking. I didn't even think that far into it. I knew Maddie knew.
Maddie and Cassie, but how the fuck would Lexi know?
Exactly. But and what one of the jokes is as old as time is people making fun of jocks and saying that they're secretly in the closet.
It's true.
And playing on like, oh, you guys shower together, oh, you guys like to touch each other, this and that, and like playing on top of that, and then saying like, oh, well, Nate tries too hard to be masculine. And he's a tall, good-looking guy, but why does he try so hard? And trying to just poke fun at that. That's where surface level I thought. I didn't think that maybe Cassie blurted to Lexi about like, you think that's weird? And then more so at Cassie of like, I still want to fuck that dude.
Maybe.
So progressive. If Nate would just own it like his dad. And then that dream was mighty uncomfortable.
Dude, I was so uncomfortable after.
We're telling you everything that happened.
Yeah, no, it was weird because I was texting Ari as we were watching it because we were watching it around the same time, and then it was fucking Jules who kind of fish hooked Nate, and then I'm like, dude, that's weird. That's exactly what his dad did to her, and then 10 seconds right after, it was a scene between the dad and Nate. It was just.
Well, not only that, but that's what the dad did to everybody.
Yeah.
In all the videos that Nate saw.
But still, it was
like, it was just and obviously Nate being in love with Jules, and yeah, I could see like him having like that weird nightmarish, like, I don't know, but I know that there needs to be further explanation.
I hope they don't just end it off at that.
There's no way.
And my whole thing, you think Cal's gonna come back on this last episode?
I hope
he was too big of a fucking character this whole season for him not to.
I hope he comes through fucking guns a-blazing.
He's like, I got nothing to live for now.
Nothing to live for, just full-fledged off the wall. Like, now I'm all the way that spectrum.
Yep.
Yeah, man. And we weren't even here last week's episode of like that weird connection between Nate and his mom. And that family's just fucking weird. Like Maddie said, your family's fucking weird.
Yeah.
And I don't even think that, and more is gonna be divulged, not only in this next episode, but the next season that they do, I guess, in 2024.
Yeah, and I hope they end it off as season 4.
It should end.
It's a high school show. Let's not drag it on until college. Let's just
until but they do this with everything. They lack originality. Not everything needs to be a sequel or a part 2.
No, I hope they don't fuck it up. But I'm excited for this last episode.
Yeah, I still like. I feel like Euphoria should just end. There should be no spin-offs.
On a high note.
Yes, enough on a high note, and no spin-offs unless it's fucking the original actors, and you kind of get the original writers room, new blood in there to kind of further.
And this better be 10, 15 years down the line. I do not want to see this in 5 years.
Oh, bro, if you could do it in 10, 15 years and now they're the parents.
That's what I mean. That would be cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
And you have kind of like you bring back those writers, and Zendaya by that time is going to be more phenomenal actress.
Sam Levinson's not going to be able to afford Zendaya. If she does it, she's doing it out of charity.
Or if she has part like equity in the series.
My queen going to do it.
She has equity in it. Like, no, I get more than just whatever you're supposed to pay me.
You think you made this show. Mm-hmm. Honey, we made this show.
And then he just has Kat say, she said 10 words this episode, and she was shaking her ass for like a segment. She's really on his shit list.
Hey, which by the way, Ethan got to see that shit too.
Mm-hmm.
He's like,
oh no,
she's back to it. This bitch. But I'm excited. The last episode's gonna come out Sunday, guys. We'll probably recap that.
We should watch this as a family.
We should. It should be a fucking should be kind of like a viewing party, listening party. Kind of like somebody else is doing that right now. I don't know if you know this.
I do tell. On 2/22/2022.
On 2/22/2022, Kanye's having Donda 2 listening party.
I'm just kidding. I knew that.
No, you're the one who fucking informed me.
I'm the one that informed you, and I had the Twitch on my phone way before I even got here. I had it on my phone, and of course he was late, and I think he just started maybe 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. Before we get to that, because I do want to get to that, I briefly want to talk about the first part of his documentary, because it's what, 3 parts?
I think it's a 3-part. They're still filming.
Oh, they're still filming?
Yeah, I listened today to the Rory and Mal podcast, and Mal's brother, Biggs, who was a part of Rockefeller Records during that time and was like a mentor to Kanye. He just had an interview for that documentary this past weekend. So they're still filming it.
Oh, they're still then. Okay.
Yeah, like he still has the 20 years of footage, but it's all the way supposed to go up to date.
Unless he has like another documentary that'll come out in another 20 years, maybe. Who knows?
I don't think so. I think it's all going to be like a consecutive, or because Kanye doesn't have anything to do with it. It's Cootie that has it. All the footage, and it's his documentary. It's not Kanye's. Kanye tried, and Cootie was smart. Kanye tried to like get involved and to do, but if that happens, that documentary is not coming out for another 2 years.
No.
So it's like, no, let's just get started on it. Like we could maybe we could drop it in parts. Like part 1 is going to be 3 episodes. Part 2 is going to be another 3 part.
Which, by the way, this is a complete side note. I love the way Euphoria. I love the way this documentary. I love how they're spacing it. Do not give us all episodes in one day, because I'm going to binge it. Time's going to pass.
I'm not going to appreciate it as much. I still appreciate like when Ozark comes out, and
I do, but it takes away from it. I feel like to make it a long-lasting experience, you need to kind of model it.
Digest.
You need to let it digest. You need to model like it was like on television, on networks. I like it. But after watching the first part of the documentary, you look at it, and I don't know what you took away from it. Kind of what I took away from it. One, it was heartbreaking to see some of the stuff that went on. But 2, you have to look at him and probably respect him even more, because his confidence was almost never shook. It was reinforced at a time by his mother.
Yeah.
But that gave him even more life. It wasn't like he was going to stop.
You could see the source of his confidence was not only just with himself, but his mom empowering him as a child. Like, you do this, you can do this. Like, Kanye, you're the best, Kanye. And like, as a parent should. Yeah. Like, you should be encouraging your child to do all this stuff. And yes, he did show promising talent as a kid. Like, he won a bunch of talent shows, and so like I knew stuff like this. Is not the first Kanye documentary, but this is the first one that's really like first-hand perspective from somebody that was there. And this raw footage of these scenarios of when it happened, when right after the Blueprint, when he produced half the album, and you're seeing like literally from this point on the trajectory of his career. Yeah. And you can see like how much he believed in himself, and you're speaking on the moment where it got shook for a minute because of like his mentor made a diss track about him. Literally that morning he saw him.
Like they're at brunch together.
They're at brunch at this Chicago, like this radio conference where like they're having
like it's like a convention of sorts.
It's a convention, and all smiles, all yuppie for the camera for the documentary, and then later that night he's on the local radio station talking about
premiering
his diss track to Kanye. And Kanye's like, this is what I love about Kanye though.
He pulled up.
He's like, oh, we're not too like his homie's like, oh, we're not far from this radio station. We could go there right now. He's like, let's go. What are we doing? He's like 10 minutes pulled up, and I love that. I'm like, okay, like you saw me this morning.
Yeah.
Didn't say any of this. 2, okay, since you have this issue with me, like I want to hear why.
And you know what I love? It made the guy that he like his mentor made him look more pussy because he did this like with his like window like half rolled down. Like you could tell he didn't want to have this conversation.
He didn't want to have the conversation.
Right in front of him, like, no, we're talking about this.
Yeah, it's a crab in a bucket mentality of he's seeing him making out of the bucket, and he's either gonna try to latch on to make it out with him, or he's pulling him down to like, no, you're not making it out. Like, what the fuck you mean? You learned from me. How are you gonna make it out before I do?
Yeah,
I taught you everything you know, which contrary, he didn't teach him everything he knew. No ID taught him a lot.
Yeah,
and how Kanye says, like, you're doing this over a XXL interview that the editor didn't put in. Like, they took out the part where I bigged you up. Like, you could have just asked me about it. If that's how you really felt. Like, I'm a phone call away. And to see that, which really shook him, it's like your mentor basically just trying to chop you all the way down to, and going to his mom and seeing like, no, she's his rock. She's the one that kept him centered and told him he could conquer everything, that you could do whatever you want. You're so great. And then it makes sense because you've seen it. We all saw the Amber Rose relationship after his mom passed.
Yeah.
And how you took it all away from him. And like how it still haunts him. I guess haunts a good word to this day. Like, has not been the same since his mom died.
No, and I think everybody probably could admit it.
Anybody that's watching and knows, like, yeah, it all makes sense. And to see where he made it now, like, he went from, fucking scrounging up pennies to buy a fucking porn magazine because he has a sick addiction.
Hey, every man's got one.
Every man has one.
But he's man enough to admit what his is.
Yeah, he's like, I got a sick addiction.
At any point, he could have told Cootie to fucking turn off that camera.
He's having fun with it. It's
he's
like,
all, fuck it, bro. Y'all go see who I am.
Yeah, eventually one day.
That's what I respected about him. I was like, he left that shit in there.
Yeah, and to where he is now, he's fucking multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, bro, that's inspirational. In the first 10 minutes, like, you're seeing where he's starting and you know how it ends, and you're like, this is inspirational. He made it to hear from that.
And I think it's, to me, because we kind of look at it now of like where he's at now, but seeing where he was in the past is one thing. All I saw through that documentary was constant no's, the constant boundaries. People wanted to put him in box. People always just trying to put limitations on him. And he would sound crazy for like trying to go against these, because okay, you probably know this better than I do. What producer back in the day would ever been a good rapper? He was the first one of the first, right?
He was the first one. There wasn't a producer that was a good rapper. No.
Okay, so that's that situation of him being an artist. Now, fashion, and he even talked about fashion and how how much he loved it. It was the same way in fashion too, but he was fucking called crazy in like the fashion industry for wanting to do what he was doing.
Yeah, I remember the interviews of him at the Breakfast Club and him saying like, I'm trying to break these grounds and do this and that. And I think it was Charlamagne's like, hey, but we're your fans. We don't care about that.
Yeah.
We don't care. Like, yeah, you're going through a struggle, but we don't relate to that. We don't care.
Yeah.
And
I don't care that you lost $30 million in this industry.
Bro, and he's like, in to where I'm like, bro, I'm fighting a battle so you never have to.
Yeah, or people that look like you don't have to.
And it's like, it's mind-boggling. It's like, you don't even know what I'm doing for you right now.
Yeah.
You don't even, and then to where, funny enough, to see where people are now, like, now our culture's all out in designer. Like, we have been hip-hop with Dapper Dan, with, he would make custom these designer pieces out of Louis Vuitton fabric and stuff like that. Like, he just deconstruct purses and stuff and make jackets and all that. But to see where it is now, where everybody buys from the store and that they're trying to start their own brands and they're trying to, like, it's now you see this culture at Paris Fashion Week when it's historically racist.
Yeah.
it's classes. It's you're not of our ilk. No. You're not from our community. You're new money. We're old money. And yeah, bro. And to see like he's like, I'm trying to do this, and everybody's not understanding because I've said this. He thinks 5 years ahead.
Yeah.
He's trying. And is that a cocky thing of even me to say as a Kanye fan? Yeah, but I'm not gonna fucking every day defend him on Twitter.
No, there's a lot of shit that he does, like social media wise, especially right now with the divorce.
With the divorce, messy shit. I would never do it. If his mother
was around, would he be operating like this? I absolutely believe he would not.
No.
There's no.
I don't
chance.
even think I don't even think his mother would have allowed him to get into that relationship. To be honest with you,
yeah, that's a very valid point. And also, we need to talk. I don't want to bash, but we need to have honest talks about that family and what they've done.
Oh, they're still gonna monetize. They're monetizing off of this.
I know, but historically, it seems like what they've done to black men.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and how they're not cool now, so they kind of just throw them aside, and now they're all dating white guys. It kind of seems a little weird. The fetishes kind of changed.
It's they wanted the black babies.
Yeah, and our Alec he brought it up on this podcast too. How it's weird how girls have like
they fetishize
over like biracial kids or certain kids. It's like it's kind of weird.
You should fetishize finding the right man
about love.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, at least Courtney's always been consistent.
She has been. Out of all of the sisters, the monotone one that's just I know she's probably had surgery, but not to the extent as everybody else.
No, not even no.
And she's just like
a feisty little one.
Yeah.
Hey, she fucks both. Well, not Chloe. It's hard to fuck up Chloe. But hey, Kim wants no beef with Courtney. Courtney's fucked her up plenty of times.
Yeah, it's just weird and like it's everybody will see it. I'm glad it's on Netflix because everybody has Netflix, and if you don't have it, you know somebody that does, and you're gonna ask for the login.
And please watch it.
And watch it because you're gonna see the aspect of what real diehard Kanye fans, not the Kanye stans that are like just hype beasts and like. No, the real Kanye fans that pay attention to what he's done, what he's doing, what he's trying to do, and that really understand. It's like, no, this is who he is. Like, you guys don't understand. Yeah. This is what you're missing. This is what get lost in translation. Like, even with us, like how we were talking about Euphoria in the beginning with Zendaya, and how like to most people, that's a hostile conversation.
Yeah.
But to us, it's like, no, you're just trying to get your point across.
Yeah.
And like we're not seeing eye to eye like we are, but we're not, and we're still trying to like. That's the same thing with him.
We're trying to weed through it.
Yeah, and with him, it's like, I'm trying to tell you guys about a fight that you haven't even fought yet.
And okay, so just think about this. He did that with music. He did that with fashion. He's literally trying to go back doing it right now with music and his stem player. Like, no artist, to me, like the experience with music isn't the same as it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Do you remember you had to go to get CDs? You had to wait in line. You had to do like there was an experience when music came out, and I think that's when artists profited a lot more on their music was during that time. Artists don't profit almost shit now when it comes to streaming.
Yeah,
especially with their labels and certain.
They get more money. They get more money from the hard, physical copy.
Yes.
Because that's less things for the label to have to cut percentages.
Yeah.
It's just they still had shit deals, but they were making more money because it was one thing they had to buy.
Yeah.
Whether it be a CD or a vinyl. Excuse me. Now it's like, okay, they could buy the physical, they could just stream it for free, they could do this.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, a stream isn't worth the same amount as if they bought a physical. Now, if streaming the album was the same as buying the album, artists would be even more so millionaires.
Yeah.
Because that's like, it would be if it was all equal pay, which it's not. Like, they find the loopholes of like, you know what, they got to play this 1,000 times before it counts as one physical.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what the fuck? So you got to think about Drake, who's the most streamed artist of all time. He had like 50 billion streams. The Weeknd around like 50 billion streams as well with his shit. It's like, so how much money am I really worth?
Yeah.
If with this. So it's just, but Jay-Z also was ahead of that with Tidal. Was we're a streaming platform, and we're also gonna give you ownership and better percentages than everybody else.
Which I kind of think that's what Kanye, and because Kanye came out with the stem player that is gonna exclusively only have Donda 2, his new album, and Donda 1. Like it seems like he's doing this as a way to kind of like how Tidal did it. If I'm a betting man, Kanye's gonna use that stem player to help other artists.
Yeah.
And granted, he's still gonna profit off probably a lot of those artists, just like Tidal does. But he's gonna be artist favor.
Yeah.
More than anybody else.
Yeah, kind of like a player's coach.
Exactly. So
and that's
obviously the coach still has to get paid, but it doesn't matter. Like in comparison to what the other shit deals were, that's just another way of you could see how Kanye's like, I'm gonna go ahead and fuck these walls and fuck these boundaries and limitations that are set up.
And what you're saying, he improved on Jay-Z's idea and try to make like, let me take your idea and make it my own.
Yeah.
Because the stem player, what it does for people that don't really, you're not music heads like that, you don't know how to record music or know how the music process goes, how you layer vocals and stuff. With every instrument, every vocal, everything that goes a part of a song, there's a stem for it. Like it's one line in the recording process. And you can adjust those volumes. You could take those volumes. You could take that out. You could raise it. You can mix it a certain way. And on this stem player in your hand, you can do all of that.
Which is pretty nuts.
You could change a song to however you want to be. You could basically be a DJ with this.
Like, it's crazy because you're going to be able to hear, like, what the finished product sounds like. And then you're going to be like, you know what? What does it sound without the drums? Or how about this? What does it sound only with drums?
Oh, I seen shout out to Daniel Canvas. I've seen it where like he lowered the vocal volume and then brought it back up. Because you can do that on there. You just got to remember which one's which on here. Or you could raise the guitar, you could lower the guitar, turn up the drums, do this, do that.
Which that in itself is revolutionary because that's a music experience that I've never felt. He has, because Kanye's a producer. That's in his blood. Yeah. He wants to see kind of what he wants us to see, kind of what he sees.
Step into his world. And I love how he said this, and I forget the actual term, but he doesn't, when he listens to music, he sees it as color.
Yeah.
And there's a term for it. I forgot the term. But on this stem player, when you mess with the stems, it's a certain color. Like there's LED lights in there that like when you raise the volume lower, it's a certain color, and depending on the song as well. And you could sync other songs to it or other albums, and you could do the same thing. And it goes through the stem player website. That's how you're able to sync it through. Yeah. It's a longer process. It reminds me of the iPod. It reminds me of like when I had a Walkman type of feel. But it's handheld. If you want to, you don't have to just listen to it on this device. If you have the website or the app, you could connect it to your car and play it off of your phone. Yeah. But if you want that full stem player experience, you have it on that device. Yeah. It's $200 or $222. And shout out. I would not mind buying one. Like
I think I'm probably gonna buy one.
And just to have that experience, and like even if it's just for the first month, you get your money's worth. It's like I've never experienced this before in my life.
Never.
Like. And we'll look back on that just like how we look back at the PSP. We're going to look back at this stem player and it's like, this was so far ahead of its time.
We don't even understand.
We didn't even understand. Or two, it was so far ahead of its time that this was like a focal point that would change music forever.
Yeah. Like, imagine that stem player, you bought it once. Now, guess what? Who's to say other artists aren't going to do the same? And only you can do it with your stem player. Like, I could listen to that artist's stuff like this. That's what I mean. People have gotten so lazy. The experiences have got so diluted and so watered down.
The consumer's lazy.
Yeah, the consumer's lazy. And for those people like, oh, that's a lot of work. Why the fuck would I want to hear that? Well, you know what, bro? If you want fucking fast food, go get fucking fast food.
This isn't for you.
This isn't for you. It's just,
this is for the music lover.
Yeah, and that goes with anything else. It's the same thing as when it comes to like food and sports or entertainment. Like,
and for those of you that are doubting it, he already made $2 million the first day.
Yeah, I don't even think the first day was over, and like they already reported.
He already made $2 million off of it.
Yeah,
because of the fight he has with Apple Music and the percentages. He wanted more than 12% of his music per the stream, like what they would be giving him, and they didn't want to work with him. So he's like, well, you know what?
Fuck you.
I'll make it exclusive, just like he did with The Life of Pablo, and he made it exclusively on Tidal. Yeah. I went and downloaded, subscribed Tidal,
guess what?
Just to listen to it.
So did I.
And the same thing, it's like,
and who's to say that stem player is not gonna be the same thing? There's gonna be a bunch of artists coming over to. He's gonna find a way to change the whole game.
Okay, and then also, so like if you do buy the stem player, you don't have to wait for it to come in for you to listen to it. You have the website. You can still listen to the album. It's just for you to have the full listening experience with that device, you got to wait for it to come in.
Yeah, You can call Kanye a lot of things. I understand he has manic behavior. There's times on social media where he does act like a jackass. I'm not going to take away. I'm not justifying his behavior. That's not what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Put that aside. What he's done culturally, what he's done for his people, what he's done for music, what he's done for just a lot of things, and for minorities in general, you can't take that away from him.
You can't take that away from him. And then don't piss off a billionaire.
That too.
They're gonna do whatever they want to do. Now he has the finances to literally do whatever he wants to do.
Fuck you, money does not even suffice.
Yeah,
there's got to be a better term for the type of money.
It has to be. There has to be a better term. It's just he's got billionaire money. He's a billionaire, multi-billionaire, and it's still rising. Gap, the Yeezy Gap collab just dropped today.
Which, by the way, a side note, when they showed his cousin in that documentary, did you think of that line from The Life of Pablo?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that he had to pay. I think that was him.
That was him, right?
I think that's the cousin that he had to pay $20,000 to get his laptop, or $20 million. $250,000. Yeah, I forgot the number. $250,000 just to get it back. Yeah, because his cousin was his assistant.
Mm-hmm. That's why when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, is that the fucking?"
And guy? I thought the same thing too. I was like, "That's the cousin." That had to be.
That's the shit that you gotta.
That had to be the cousin, because why else would you show that? You know,
like why is this guy important?
Why is he significant right now?
But that's for like the true, like if you
pay attention to the lyrics,
it's like, oh, that was the guy he was talking about, by the way.
Mm-hmm. And we haven't even got to the part, because you made a comment of like, Kanye he sounds so different now. Like from him being young, and now this is before the accident, the car accident, before they wired his jaw shut.
That was in October of 2022. But even then, like even before the accident, because I knew the accident happened, I changed how he talked and everything. But just how he sounded, like vocally, he was just it was a different sound. And granted, he was from Chicago. He'd only ever been in Chicago, so that accent was still there. His accent kind of changed. The more as you get older,
the more you get removed from, where you grew up.
Yeah, but even being that young and with Rockefeller, I'm like, damn, it's so trippy to see how he sounded before. Mm-hmm. Because like his sound, like he has a unique voice. His sound is a sound, and to hear what he started as, to see what he is now,
and then you see him, bro. You see him freestyling with Mos Def, which Mos Def is a legend. And he's freestyling, and Wood Hayes is backstage right there. Listen, like he can't believe like what Kanye's spitting. Like, yeah, he wasn't Tyler the Creator. That's Wood Hayes. Yeah. And like just everybody's like, oh, he could really rap, but still nobody took him serious.
And even Mos Def was just like, fuck.
And you could tell, like, even when they thought that he was gonna stop and he kept going, it's like, no. He knows. Like, if that was me, it's like, no, this is my moment, and you guys still don't believe in me. I'm going full pedal, and I'm going until I run out of breath.
Ooh, we got fucking 2 minutes.
Okay, well, we'll wrap it up right now.
Sorry,
oh, also, speaking of billionaires, I saw this other day. Is it true that Elon did donate the however many billion to end world hunger?
I don't believe it.
There was a report that he told
could have been, but I don't believe it.
he contacted, I think it was the UN or whoever's in charge of it. Okay, what's the exact number it costs to end world hunger? And they told him, like, okay, so if I donated $6 billion, will that end world hunger?
I remember seeing that tweet.
And he's like, but I want I want to see how this money's distributed.
Yeah, which is fair.
And I saw this post last week that he sold off a certain amount of Tesla shares to accumulate the $6 billion and give it to them, like, okay, go end world hunger. That's mega fuck you money. If that's true that he actually went through with it.
If he could be like, all right, $6 billion, fuck it. I don't care. I'll figure out to make another $6 billion pretty easy.
Yeah. And who cares? Like, not balls in your court. Go do it.
Maybe you should shut the fuck. Hey,
maybe y'all should shut the fuck up.
Somebody's gonna call your bluff eventually. You better figure it the fuck out.
Yeah. So if next week we could fact check it.
We'll fact check it. We got we harbored on a lot of fucking Kanye and Euphoria, but it was well needed. Those are two big things in our culture, in our world.
Two big things. The Queen's possibly dead.
Oh wow. Okay.
She got COVID on Monday she got COVID either Monday or Sunday, and it's rumored that she's dead. The guy from a Hollywood reporter that he stood on his on 10 toes and said, "I don't put out false information." Waiting for confirmation.
Well, we'll see. But
until then, play "The Queen Is Dead" by the Smiths. Play that album, and
until next week, guys.
Until next week,
we'll be back. Deuces.
Deuces.